Thank you for the storage facility. We're gonna buy it in a couple of weeks, folks. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the mic that's on.
Yeah, let me check. Take it over, Dr. Kramer.
Okay, will do. Here we go. Okay. So please name 3 topics for advanced students found in Chapachuki Sengye's Book of Collected Topics. There are forthcoming clues if we're utterly hopeless.
Hey, Ben, I'm accepted from the homework, right?
Yeah, that is my understanding.
Okay, I'm just checking.
It'd be cheating. I feel like it would be cheating.
Yeah.
If I use my notes, it's cheating.
No, using your notes is not cheating. Using your notes is being studious.
Cheating is if you have a suit on and you're in your boxer shorts. That's cheating.
It's a little cold for that, isn't it?
We're working, me and Rosa are working on a special suit for you guys.
That is going to be the new fashion. That's probably way advanced.
Hey, Nick, the tie is going to be striped like the boxer shorts. They're going to match.
That's a good idea. It's kind of brilliant. Zoom chic.
So I have, they include the reasoning through statements of consequence.
Cool. What's that in Tibetan? Oops. Don't look.
Shensel?
No, someone else help her. That's an easy one. Ish.
Through reasoning, that would be.
It's the name of the highest branch of the highest school of Buddhism.
I mean, Madhyamika?
The highest branch of that school.
Prasangika.
In Tibetan.
Oh God.
I know, right? Someone knows the Tibetan word
I don't
for
remember.
Sangika.
Tongyur.
Yay.
Tongyur, right, Tongyur.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
That's the first one. What's the second one?
Eliminating what a thing is not.
Cool. What's the Tibetan for that?
Shensel.
Agreed. And then?
Engaging in eliminations and affirmative objects.
Yeah. Ugh. Right.
Whatever that means.
Yes, indeed. Right. Well, right. Yeah. What's that in Tibetan?
Somebody else has got to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really remember either. It's I kind of remember. I remember part of it.
Cell droop droop droop. Oh, I'm sorry. Cell droop droop droop.
Okay. Yep. Totally. Great. Brilliant. Whoops. Oh, I said 3, but then I included 4.
There is a 4th one. Yeah.
Right. See?
A greater presentation of cause and effect.
Tibetan.
Yundre Chewa.
Gyundre Jewa. Yeah, Gyundre Che. Great. Cool. Okay. Who wrote The Treasury of the Science of Accurate Perception, a book that acts as a sort of bridge between the early collected topic works of Chapachuki Sengye and more modern systems of monastic works on collected topics?
Someone who's also known as Geshe.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Great. And then let's see if we can work our way through the 11 chapters of that book. There are forthcoming clues if they're necessary. I don't think I could do it in correct order without my notes, but if you have notes, that's cool. I'll show you the Tibetan for the first one if we need it. And then you can just tell me what the Tibetan means. Unless someone wants to tell me what the first one is without looking even at the Tibetan, which I would allow.
Examination of objects.
Examination of objects. Cool. In Tibetan?
Let's see. Yopak.
That sounds right. Yeah, you'll talk about. Right. Cool. What's next?
Examination of the mind.
Cool. Which is
Lotakpa.
cool. Tene. And then
Sidang Chidakpa.
cool.
Quality
Which is
and characteristics.
cool.
Examination of quality and characteristics.
Great. And then
Anybody else? I just said this one last time.
I can give the English.
okay, yeah, cool.
Examination of engaging with eliminations and affirmations.
Cool. Great.
Something Takpa.
Something Taka.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, something talked about. Great. You can get all of them that way. Number 5.
Somebody else? Can I jump in? Examination of expressions and expressors.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I tried to get away with, but then we learned that it kind of meant something else. What's the Tibetan? Utpala.
Takpa.
Yeah, and what did we learn? It does mean technically expressions and expressors, but it more means what did we learn about this one?
Things to be
Subject and
talked about and the
treatment.
way you talk about them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like subjects and ways of expressing those subjects, topics and ways of expressing those topics, something like that.
Mhm.
Oh, here, I don't know. Oh, examination of, haha, that looked weird. Great. And then
Examination of relationships.
sounds good. Whoops. In Tibetan,
Rawa Takpa.
deal. Tene.
Examination of contradictions.
Ah,
Tim, you know this one. Yawa Takpa.
yeah. Getting there.
Examination of definitions.
Ah, do you know
Semi Taka.
yay.
Yay!
Awesome. Cool.
Examination of the direct perception.
Yeah, which is what in Tibetan,
Tongpa.
you would think.
No, okay. Then
Unsum Takpa.
Yeah, Ngunsun Tapa.
okay.
Yeah, Ngunsun. And then
Where am I? Examination of deductive reasoning for our own benefit.
cool. In Tibetan.
Rangdung Jepak Takpa.
Cool. And finally,
Examination of deductive reasoning for the benefit of others.
oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Can you do the Tibetan for this one by changing one word?
I
Me?
said Rangdung Jepak Takpa.
Not wrong, Dung Jepak.
No, I said that for the
I'm-
one that's for
I'm-
yourself. So
Right.
the one for others would be
Shen?
Oh, yeah. I
Yay.
thought she was telling me to be quiet so that I didn't give it away. to you. Yeah, right. Yeah, good. Cool. Great. Brilliant. So, let's do this. All right, Geshe, I need you. So we got, I have to ask my my ritual bibliography question real quick first.
Can you turn off your spelling checking?
Maybe.
Please?
It's not intensely necessary for what I'm doing right now, and I want to move quickly. I'm sorry. I just want to talk real quickly about translating Sanskrit titles when I don't have them around already available to me. What you want us to do generally, boss? My guess is you're muted.
No, I'm just muted up here. You mean reconstructing a Sanskrit name? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
is that what you want?
Yeah, go ahead,
You-
try it.
Okay.
And use Lokesh Chandra, and he's extremely accurate. He should have been a mixed nut, you know.
Okay. I'll try to do that. And then I had this other problem in Lokesh Chandra where he just
And what you can do is also use the Tohoku, or you can use Lokesh Chandra to find similar titles that do have a Sanskrit. Okay.
right. Okay. What do I do about this when Lokesh Chandra has a panic attack and starts throwing in question marks?
Also, I would put an asterisk whenever we create a
Yes.
reconstruct. We put an asterisk.
Right.
There.
Totally.
When he puts question marks,
Yeah. Look at this one.
that probably means he's trying to reconstruct it. Oh, so what do I think about it?
Yeah, I don't know. Just what do you want me to do? You're the boss, and I'm trying to make
I
you
would
nice.
just, I would take out the question marks and see if you can find that word in his dictionary.
Okay, take out the question mark. See if I can find that word in his dictionary. And should I put an asterisk because he wasn't sure, and I'm doing based on guessing that? Okay, do my best guess based on looking around for proper spelling of that word, leaning heavily on him, and then give it an asterisk because he didn't exactly say it. I didn't take it straight from him.
It's another option.
Don't.
Somebody tell me the obvious option, the other obvious option. Anything in the Tengyur.
Has the title in
The science of debate.
Anything in the Tengyur has the Sanskrit and Tibetan letters at the beginning of the title, like 90%, 95%. Okay, so go to our database and look up this book and see what the Tibetan said. He's probably complaining about the Tibetan.
Right. If I take it from a Tibetan translation, is that what it takes for me? If I get it either from Lokesh Chandra or from actually in a direct Tibetan translation, is that what it takes for me to not use an asterisk? What are the circumstances under which I don't need an asterisk?
If you find it in Lokesh Chandra, you don't need an asterisk. You can take it for correct.
Okay.
What he does sometimes is he corrects things in the Tibetan.
Okay.
And so I would, if it were me, I'd go look at the Tibetan, and I'd guess that what he's saying is that, like Tibetans tend to split a long A into two short A's, for example, and he reconnects them.
Okay.
Following Panini, So,
okay. If a Tibetan gives me the Sanskrit title, knowing what I know about Tibetan Sanskrit spelling, how much do I trust that?
If you can confirm the separate words in Lokesh Chandra, and I'm assuming you mean Lokesh Chandra didn't try to reconstruct the title himself, but as far as I know, I think he reconstructed all 4,600, but he did all of them. He's really good. I trust him. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't have anyone better than that.
There are weird moments where he didn't. So for example, that one down here, right? He didn't have this one, or I would have used it.
I would compare the Tibetan in situ to what he wrote. And then if he didn't do it, look up the pieces. Yeah.
Okay. If it's in the Tibetan, if the Tibetans wrote the Sanskrit in the title and I end up using that.
You cannot put an asterisk. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And there it is for you in the chat.
Unless you find a mistake in it.
And there it is for me in the chat.
I just took it from the file.
Oh, okay. This is this one, not the earlier. Okay.
No, the one that you had the two question marks in
Oh,
the
sure.
Sanskrit.
Okay. All
But
right.
those are all good questions. Yeah, I'm really happy that you're interested in it, and it saved me a lot of time. I mean,
Okay.
that's one way you can save me a lot of time. There's no reason why I should be doing all the bibliography entries.
Okay. I'm trying to get you out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll look at that later.
Okay.
All right, boss. So look, this was hard. I'm sorry. I still got your face all over the place.
Your book's been pretty easy this term.
However, right. However, so you gave me an interesting assignment, which was to translate the second
Did-
Geshe, and then if I really felt confident there, that I could go on to the third. So I didn't feel
And can you make
confident,
it
but
bigger?
I can.
Because I can barely see it.
I understand.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Yeah, and bring them. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So what I did instead, oh, and I made a mess of things. I'm so sorry. Let me get this out of the way. What I did instead, and I don't know, is I was still confused by the first. So I went back and I tried to do like a good translation of the first one, and then I did the second one. So I don't have the third. I have an idea about the third, but I was still so confused by the first one that I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind taking a look at my preliminary translation of the first, and then we'll do the second. And then I'm sorry that I don't yet have the third.
Yeah, that's fine. Sunam ki shipanam ki. Sunam ki shipanam ki. Let me see here. I'm having trouble finding one of the three resulting realizations. Okay. Okay, good. It is to resolve an active possession of excess. There is. Yeah, the first sentence is fine.
Now it gets weird. Yeah, I don't.
This one must knows its own awareness of an aspect of the mind that takes on the appearance of its object. Sunam ki shipanam ki ranyu topecha. I think he's just listing elements of this dreto. Okay, there's a part in which it is understanding its object by means of the various kinds of perception taking on the aspect of the object, right? That's okay. That's pretty good. The thing under consideration is the object being held.
That's a part of what? It's a part of the realization somehow, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The thing under consideration. I like to think of like if you're looking at a blue, something blue, there's kind of a picture of blue in your mind. That's how
Right. I tried to call that an it's a little wordy, but Sungnam I translated as an aspect of the mind that takes on the appearance of its object.
I think that's perfect. That's fine. Yeah, that part is really good. The thing under consideration is the object being held. Sing J-U.
There's no. Oh, sorry. There is a. Sorry. Well. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand. You see, this is. And I'm sorry. I obviously I did a boo-boo here, even in the grammar. I didn't know how these three elements necessarily related to one another. So there's a thing under consideration. Okay, that is the object being held. Okay, there's a sungja, that's the shell jaw.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's, whatever. There, right. Whoops. I'm sorry.
I'd say there are components of this perception involving, aspect, object, perception itself. It's just a list of elements in the active perception.
So these next two are Che's. Even though he did element one, he ended the description of element one by saying Che, and then he gives two more. But are the next two also the two more Che's, basically two more parts?
Yeah, I would assume a cha. Yeah.
Oh, Cha. I mean, I'm sorry. Right. Thank you.
And I would say there's a part of blah, 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 and there's a part of blah, 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 and there's a part of blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sungje yu shaja. Yeah. It has a component of what it considers, which is the object it is holding. Okay. And it has a component of the mind, which is holding the object. And then it has a component where the aspect of the object is appearing inside the mind, right? Or the mind is taking on the aspect of the object, right? And then all of those parts, de la, I would translate as, all of those parts contribute to Sardimaluri Shepatsema, a perception which is an accurate perception, which is fresh and which is unmistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many elements did we just have?
Well, let me count. That's a good question. There's a Sungnam Ki Shepanang Rangyu Topecha, 1. Sungjayu Shelja, 2. Jenjekelo, 3. Yulde Nabashawa, 4. Yeah.
Well then, okay. So, and I understand.
Sorry.
Oh, so one of them, isn't the first one technically the Draytok itself?
Sungnam Shepanam Ki. Well, I'm just counting the first one as Yultopecha.
Oh, the first one is right. Yeah. It's but that's the realization of the Yule. Isn't that what is resulting here from?
No, I mean, technically it is, but he's trying to divide it out into different components of the act of perception. Yeah. He's listing components of the act of perception.
Right. Okay.
And don't forget, I don't usually go to the Great Dictionary for Philosophy,
right?
Because it's sloppy,
sure,
in its philosophy. But in the absence of any easier source, I just thought, I wouldn't maybe even, would I translate all this? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would say I might I don't think in the footnote I would put the whole Dato Dumbo. That was kind of funny. No. Yeah.
Well, I only did it because you assigned it to me.
Yeah. But it's good to understand it. Yeah. But I wouldn't use the whole thing in the footnote. Yeah. I would just say it's a resulting perception which involves perceiving objects other than the mind. And then that's all I would say in the footnote.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, in the mixed nuts system, we make a definitive footnote, and then that footnote is so good that we can use it again in later books, other books. So you probably should go find a good definition of it in the database. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I sort of feel like eventually it's going to get talked about a good bit. I mean, he's just saying that the guy wrote a book about, I mean, I don't mind saying, look, he wrote a book about what would you say, the way the mind realizes, other objects.
Yeah, and by the way, to create a footnote, the easiest way is to, well, I'll show you when I start my class, okay? I'll show you how I would do it, okay? And maybe that'll help Joel also.
Okay. Yeah, great. I'm sorry, this is not and here I'll put this on a new and now there are problems that it has inherited from what I didn't get right about the first one.
Yeah, okay. I like the first sentence. Good. Yeah. Yeah, there's the component where the subject
Yeah.
the subject part of the mind is uh, is perceiving. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so Zinnam is opposed to Sungnam, right?
Right. Yeah. And right. Yeah.
What's being held by that, what's being perceived is a object under consideration.
Yeah. And it seems like unlike with the Sungnam, you don't have to have like an extra appearance in the mind of the mind because the mind is already in the mind. So like with the mind taking on an aspect of an outer object, you need the outer object to be represented somehow in the mind, but the mind already has itself in there. So it doesn't seem like you need to have like an appearance of the mind to itself in the mind. You're just looking at the mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem very helpful to me to say Sungnam Shel. I don't understand why it's helpful, but Zinnam Tema, that it's a perception which has the aspect of being the subject, right, holding the object,
Yeah. Okay.
and it is established because its result is Rangri, okay.
Yeah.
And how does the school here different from the Dreto Dumble?
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's especially interesting when we get to the third, which I did go down and make a mess of. But only the mind only school accepts this.
Mm-hmm. Who accepts the first one?
Both the mind only school and the sutrists. Only both of them. No, really?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but the next one,
okay,
which is intensely confusing. But look, I threw a bunch of useless. Oh, why don't you take over from here? You don't need to see this. This is a bunch of gobbledygook that Ben scribbled there to bang his head against.
All right, let's go to Detok Sumba.
Let's do it. Here, I'll stop my share, and then yeah. And this is cool. This one's cool, but I don't know. I don't get it, but I almost do.
No, you did a good job on it, actually. Not easy. I wanna, if I was gonna really create a footnote from this, and I had time, which I haven't had these 2 weeks because I wrote a new course the 2 weeks before that.
Yes.
And then I didn't have my normal time to prepare for the classes. So I've been getting up at 2:00, but I just couldn't do it. So anyway, what I'd like to show how I would make a proper footnote. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I wanted to give you some searching clues. Okay.
Great.
What I would search for is Dreto Dangbo Ni. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you why. It'd be nice if you had this in the database, the definition of Dreto Dumbo. Okay.
Yeah, but that's a stretch, right?
They are few and far between.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I'll say Dreto Dumbo has 3 divisions. Then there'll be a couple sentences, and they'll say Tenimi.
Yeah.
So but I'll tell you something. It's always worth a try.
Sure.
Now, I would prefer not to be. I would prefer to be in the Sema books when I go for these definitions, and I'll tell you why. Somebody like Chankya Rote Dorje,
Yeah.
he might have a definition of Dreto, and it's too old and it's too weird. Okay. And so I won't go to the Siddhanta text. I won't accept a definition for a logic term from a Siddhanta text, you see? So I'm going to remove these. And I encourage you to get good at adding new search fields. I encourage you guys to get good at it, okay? And to practice it. So I'm going to search. And by the way, Kangir will never have these definitions. Tengir will have them only in a very weird, obscure language because it's translated. Yes, I don't even bother. Okay. I would look into Sumbum, okay? So I go to Sumbum. And then I would pre-select the logic text, so I don't waste my time. Okay,
Yes.
because I don't have time. A few minutes for me is extremely precious. So I'll open that. You see where I am?
I do.
Okay, so I'm in the Sumbum, and I only want to search the great Tibetan writers of logic. And I haven't allowed any other authors in the section. If I find something, it's definitive. I have not allowed lesser authors into the database. They can go somewhere else. I'm not taking my time to add a questionable author to the database. Okay, and this database is pure. So far, it's pure. If somebody corrupts it, I swear I'm gonna come back as a zombie and do something to you. Okay,
Easier if you just stick around alive.
that's true too. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna search for Jeto Dambitseni. I don't think you'll find it, but sometimes you get lucky.
Hey, great.
Nope, not there.
Hey, nothing.
Okay, now my alternate choice is just say Jeto Damboni. Okay,
Which would also be extraordinarily fortunate.
then you're in Fat City. Then you can write a footnote. Okay,
Yeah.
normally it's a definition. Here we go.
Yes.
Nope.
Hey, guess what happened?
Now you got to go to all the Jeto Dambos and see. By the way, if you want to, you can do this. Okay, and Tibetan scripture was made for Boolean searches. Okay, and it's extraordinarily helpful. And the search engine has to emphasize these 8 boxes because Tibetan has multiple spellings. Okay, they have alternate accepted spellings. If you make a search without these 8 boxes, it's almost a waste of time. Okay, so any search engine has to have these 8 boxes because there's so many variations after 2,000 years. You know, one bata prala with a short of salt that dropped the march at pierce into the rota and bothered every vein and switched the core.
English.
That's 500-year English. Think about 2,000, 2,500 year Tibetan. There's going to be a few changes. Okay, so here we'll see if we get lucky. Okay, but I don't think, I'm guessing you won't get lucky. Okay, here we go. We're looking for the word definition near Jeto Dambo. No,
Nah, I don't think there are going to be that many Jeto Dambos, frankly.
now I'm just teaching you how to search, and maybe we should do a whole class on this. I might do Jebu Tokpa.
Oof.
I might do Debui Topa.
Yes,
Okay, I might expand it to that. Take out the Semi,
totally.
add Detok. And guess what? This is why we don't use Tibetan script. This is why I prefer Roman. Tokpa is one of the most misspelled words in Tibetan. So don't specify whether it's spelled right or spelled wrong. Just put Jetok with half the word Tokpa, you're going to hit all of them.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful about this search engine. Okay, so here we go. Dun-dun. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so now there's 137 Jetoks. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And we didn't really want that many.
We don't.
Okay. So let's try to go back to, we're not going to take one unless you give us the Seni. Okay. This is not, if Seni occurs well before the word you want, it's not related to your word.
Yeah.
That's a general rule. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
This is not really, yeah, okay, you don't have it. There is no definition in the database. So now what I would do next is take a piece, Deto, we're looking for the Deto, for example, that is related to Rangrig, okay?
Okay.
Now this is gonna be a fruitful search.
Okay.
This is gonna give us good results, I predict. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here it is.
44.
Yeah, and here we hit it. This is what we want.
Yeah.
Ito Nipe Namshak Ni. Here's everything you ever wanted to know about the second Deto.
Right. Which technically is the one we don't want to know about, but it's
Yeah, well, I'm just saying
yes.
now we've hit the one we want. What do I do? What do I do immediately when I get something I can mine for a footnote? I check the
Title and the author.
author. Okay. I want a respectable author. I will not make a mixed nuts footnote from an unknown dude. And this guy's called J.
Right. Which theoretically we don't have to worry about because we haven't let anyone else into the database, but we still check anyway, especially in front of other people to whom we'd like to emphasize that we never want to have anyone in the database.
Well, that's the first one I hit. Let's see if we hit any others. I'm going to skip to the next book. Okay. Next file, next book. There's one. Gendon Droop, the first Mr. D. That's not so bad. Next one. Kunken, I don't know him so well. Okay. But he's official. Gyaltsabje, misspelled. I don't know who the hell put that. Okay.
Oh,
Not me. Okay. And they misspelled the Dharma part of his name. It's
oh,
pretty extraordinary. Okay. It's embarrassing. Okay. Sorry. Here's another J. Here's a Tsongkhapa. That's probably all right. And there's a Jamyang Kyutsang Lama from Serame, who's great Lama. Okay, so you had about 8 choices of extraordinary teachers, and then you could build. But yeah, I'll tell you something interesting. Look, they've pretty much built their definitions. Let's go back to some kappas.
Gail Subject.
Oh, I'm sorry.
K-Drip J.
What happened to some kappa?
You were on it.
He was
you
like,
were on it actually.
Oh, sorry.
Go hit next twice.
Okay, yeah.
There you are.
Well, he didn't do what I wanted him to do. Hang on, let's do the previous file. And that's a very useful function, by the way, Joel, is to be able to go back. I have a choice of going back to hits in the same book or going back to hits in a previous book. You see what I mean? I have that choice. I can say previous file, which means previous book, or I can say previous match, which it means it could be in the same book.
I think Jetson Kappa was the second book we hit, boss.
I already rejected him. He wasn't treating it the way I wanted.
It wasn't him though. Technically, that was K-Drip J's notes on him or Gilsip J's notes.
Oh, yeah, okay, those can be.
But I think the second thing that we hit was actually Jetson Kappa himself.
But here we have, well, I don't want to use this author. Let me try another one. What I wanted to say was people have followed, the author of the Great Dictionary has precedence. People did treat it in little pieces like that. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway, I would swim through all the definitions.
Okay.
And I would pick.
Can we go back one more?
Yeah, you mean you want to?
No, previous file. I'm sorry.
I think we're on the last one, the first one.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, that's just try Ni first.
Yes.
Tried Seni. Sometimes you get lucky.
Yes.
Then you've got to start searching for pieces near the word.
Right.
Known pieces near the word. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the steps I would take. Yeah.
Okay. Dretok Sum also in this case would probably be helpful.
And I would limit the search to the pramana section of the symbol.
Yes.
Okay? Which is that was our hard work for 20 years. We cataloged every book in a subject category.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are preset search fields.
Yes.
So I can limit, I don't have to see what some weird guy in the 12th century thought about detox. I can limit it to the cream of the Tsongkhapian guys. Okay.
Yes.
Yeshela, do you know what the order is in which the results are returned?
I don't happen to know. I don't happen to know.
It would be nice to know, correct? Or to be able to say, I only want to look at JSON Kappa, K-Drip J, Gendendrup,
That's called a relational database, which this is not.
Yeah.
And that's what Joel's working on.
Yeah.
And, I made an executive decision 25 years ago. I said, nobody's going to get this together in the next 25 years. And I will be 80 by the time they finish, and it'll be too old to use it. So I went ahead and used this, and it's truthful. If someone can make a relational database, God bless. Okay. I have an emergency backup. I have all the books of Tsongkhapa in a separate file, in a separate folder in my computer. So I have a few great authors, but ideally you should be able to relational database. You could say, tell me how Tsongkhapa used this word in his 40s, and especially when he was in Lhasa and not when he was out east. And it should be definable by period of his life, period of the extent of his life, places where he was, and perhaps subject matters under the author. Search all the books by Tsongkhapa on Sema. Okay. And that would be great, but we don't have that capacity. This is a flat file database.
Yeah.
And in one way, it's brilliant because it's built into the operating system of the computer. It does not depend on a company. It's built into the operating system of the computer. If the operating systems of the computer ever change radically, this tool will not be useful. But you can't show me a database tool that has survived for as long as Gopher has survived, because it is built into the system of the computer. And that was a good move, I would say. Little appreciated by my students.
Have we tried it with the latest version of the Mac operating system?
Yeah, there's some little things you have to push some buttons, apparently. I don't know. Okay, let's look for Deto Sumba. There you go. Then I always glance down. Here's Gel Tsup Dharma. And okay, there's only a small group of people who are allowed to mess with the database. So it only has 2 hits, actually.
Yeah, and look, yeah, that one was probably this.
No, it's not. You can see when you're in the dictionary. Okay, and by the way, this looks like an interesting one.
Yeah, I should
that's
say.
Casey Wangchuk.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's this.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? We didn't explore that option. We could have looked in your own book.
Yeah. Right.
He might have had a good one. Okay. And by the way, if you get desperate, there have been separate books written about Dretok by reputable people. That's why we're studying Dretok right now. And you can order them. You can have them input. Okay. So any mixed nut has the right and the option to ask Nick and Ben to have a book input for them, especially for their text. Okay. And those ladies at the input center can knock out a 500-page book in about 6 days. They are unbelievable. They are just unbelievable. 5 times, typing it 5 times. They are unbelievable. And they are really devoted. And I have a strong hope that I'd like to work on with Noor, that we could help them. I have this fantasy to help them buy their houses. We're all getting houses, we're all getting apartments from our salaries. And I think it'd be so cool if we had like a house buying program for the ladies who have been there for over 10 years or 15 years. There's ladies who've been there for 30 years. And I think it'd be really cool. So I hope Nora can get that going. Okay. Yeah. Okay, where do we go now, Senor?
Well, we're going to talk about the Dretok soon, because apparently he wrote a commentary to the first and the third, and of course he skipped the second because the sutrists don't accept it.
Oh,
but he
good.
did cover the third.
Okay, here's the third.
Yeah.
Deto Sumba. The perception, which is a result of, the resulting perception, right?
Yeah.
Or the realization, which is the result of an accurate perception. It's one of the three Detoks.
Yeah.
It's Do Depa Dan Tuma Mayimba.
Yeah, it is exclusive to or special to the Sutrist school.
Yeah, only the Sutra school accepts this third one. Okay. Jokso, same day Jokso. Same day means result of an accurate perception, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Chi Dunki Suk is the Shelja.
Yeah, outer objects are what is under consideration in the case of this realization or understanding.
Yeah, outer physical objects, right?
Yeah, outer physical objects. Even
Okay.
if you think it's suk.
Suk de la rang yulki number shawe gone. The mind takes on the aspect of that physical object. Okay.
Yes.
That's what appears in the mind,
Right.
and it's a starting Louis Shepa.
Which is a fresh, unerring awareness, which is an accurate perception, right? Is that in the positive?
Yeah. And Sema rang ni suki number shawe gone. Rangi ditu magyobe topa. This is weird, okay? Sema rang ni suki number shawe gone. When this accurate perception, when the mind takes on the aspect of the physical object which it's looking at, rangi dangni to makyope so topa. It is perceiving a physical object which is not part and parcel with the mind.
Okay.
So that means it cannot be accepted by the mind. Yeah, because their big thing is blue. If they need anything, they need blue to be inside.
Yeah.
Okay, that's in fact, what's emptiness? One of their emptinesses is the emptiness of
outside
outer object.
outer physical objects. Okay.
Yeah. So big thing that comes up for me, and maybe we don't really care for the sake of a very minor footnote, but is this not? How is this different from the first one? I mean, okay, it's just physical and it's outer, but what, is there overlap between this and the first one, or?
Yeah, I think there can be overlap. Yeah, there can be some components which are shared. Yeah, that's okay. Yep.
Okay, because like I don't know, okay, so there's some that are shared. What would be something that, yeah.
I think, the Rang Rig, once you get into Rang Rig, you really limit who's going to accept it.
Well, right, but forget that one. I'm just talking about the first one because Dodepa, because this came up in a footnote because Sarah Chuki Gilson wrote a commentary, a book about the first and the third, and he wasn't interested in Rangrik either.
Yeah, I would say let's keep going on your text tonight, and now you know what the detox are enough to translate it as the book name correctly.
Okay.
I wouldn't spend too much time on it. I've never seen J-Talk discussed in my studies. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, here's the table of contents to Gendon Drupsa work on Sema. And it does cover all three. So you could have this input bin. Okay. Here's the J-Talk Dumbo. Here's the J-Talk Nipa. There's some intermediate, it skips, and then it says J-Talk Sumba. So, and he only spends about 4 or 5 pages on each one. It means, he's very good at simplifying things. The first Mr. D is very good at simplifying things and presenting them in a very ordered way. He was a very nerdy guy. And he didn't do a lot of, he didn't speculate. He just has outlines and he gives you the basic information. So he's very helpful for that. He probably, if you made a footnote about detox, you should get it from this book and you should make sure it's input, okay?
I'm pretty sure it's in our uncataloged data.
I kind of think it must be, but yeah, you could go there.
Okay.
Okay. Here is research on some of the book names mentioned, okay? And let me get my big cursor up here. And so this is Chinzone for Chinzone.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, here's Jetson. Here's the great textbook writer from Sarah Che. And here are his various works on Sema, okay, some of which are mentioned by Yeshe Wangchuk, okay.
Yeah.
There's the second and third. Didn't you say it was first and third? I don't remember, second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Here's his fourth one. Oh, sorry. Here's his textbook on the fourth chapter.
Right.
Okay. Here's here's again his textbook on the fourth chapter. By the way, when you get a hit in the New Delhi data, okay, when it says New Delhi data, that's 8,000 titles that I cataloged in New Delhi for the Library of Congress. And they paid me money. I went there. I got the 3 best monks I could find. And we had a party. And we cataloged books from early morning to late at night. And we spent the whole salary they paid me. We invited representatives of every major monastery outside of Tibet. And they all came with their books, and we cataloged them, and we helped them to print them. So that was a real great party. So anyway, you're going to get some books in there that you can't find elsewhere. Okay. Yeah, here's a catalog entry for that one. Okay.
Yes.
Here's another one of his books. Okay.
Yes.
Now, they said there was a circle for Nyenja,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird because object of hearing is not something you could write a whole book about.
However.
Okay. And they just called it Nyenja Circle, which means a derivative book, a book which expands on a brief mention in the classics about something to hear. And it doesn't seem to make any sense to write a whole book on what you hear.
Yeah.
And
You're saying that because you know the punchline here.
yeah, you know the punchline. You want to explain it?
I do now. It looks like it's not a book about hearable things. It's a
No.
book which is like a supplemental summary of the commentary on valid perception, which is called The Lord of Hearable Things.
Yeah, the sweetest thing you could ever hear.
Uh-huh.
Our author called it hearable thing. And okay, so it's the title is The Sweetest Thing You Could Ever Hear. It's not a book about things you can hear. Okay. I thought you'd be excited about that.
I'm excited about that because I don't have to struggle to figure out what the hell's with Nyenjas and why they're.
Yeah, and by the way, it still doesn't totally explain it. And I would like you to get this book input. Okay.
Okay.
It looks, in fact, you and Nick you could check his whole list of useful books and get them all input, the ones we don't have. That's something you guys should do. In the next few weeks, you should do that, okay? It's not a huge job. It's a pretty straightforward job. You could try to teach other mixed nuts to use BDRC and find us good scans. And you know, I always prefer carvings. Anyone who has typed something into a computer and hasn't used our system has corrupted the text badly. So don't use modern books, okay? Use a carving, okay? Always use a carving. All right, if there is one. When in the rare case that there isn't a carving, okay, you don't have to. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, we have 1 minute.
Yeah, and by the way, you know, you don't need me to order all these books. He just gives the author's name, he gives the title of the book, and we should have all of them in the database before we start his real commentary. We should have those weapons in our repertoire to do a good job, because all of these books are super good. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can put them together and organize them, and then I hate to ask you this in front of other people, but if we could get, but to get them put in the database, we need.
Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah. So yeah, we just need to make, I'll try to make a regular time with you. My schedule.
You don't have to make just meet with us once, and then we'll worry about doing it a second time after we get to, we keep talking about we're going to do it every, 7 times a week as soon as we have time to do that. But let's just meet once, and then we'll think about when the next one can be.
Yeah. I'll give you I can't resist. Here's my internal schedule for 2022.
I don't believe it if it's not on paper.
Anything,
It's not carved.
any date that is not white is already booked. Any date that is not white is already booked. Okay.
There are no white dates.
I've been trying to tell people that, and they're like, yeah, but it's just 5 minutes, and there isn't a single date in 2022 which is not already booked. Okay. And it's frustrating because people are always like, well, I just want. Okay.
I can't do a thing that you want me to use you for and not use you at the same time.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We'll make a date. Okay. But I suggest to be practical, contact Allison and tell her. Oh, tell her, Allison, I agreed to do 2 hours with Nick and Ben in the next 2 weeks. Okay. Then
Okay.
Allison pushes stuff around. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But there's nothing on that calendar that I will not do. It's all really valuable things. I won't cancel any of it. So forget that. Okay. I'll just pile on more stuff and you guys have to explain it to Veronica. Okay. I'm not kidding. She doesn't believe there's such a person. Maybe she didn't sign up for that. Someone 2 a.m. and goes till 9 or something. Okay. All right. Here we go. You want to do one? We got 3 minutes or not?
No, we don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, there you
We're
go.
2 minutes overtime, actually.
But I think it's very exciting that your author has given us a pile of books that are safe to put in the database. Let's do it. Okay.
Awesome.
And you guys are very good at finding books on BDRC. And thank God for BDRC. And if you guys want to make a donation to BDRC, if you're into the 4-step idea, if you want to understand Mixed Nuts books better, make a donation to our sister organization, BDRC. Okay. They are extremely important and extremely helpful. They've been helpful to us for 30 years. Yeah. And we couldn't figure it out then. Yeah.
Sashi Gewa for a beautiful term, boss. And
thank you.
I should be I feel like we're in a part of the book right now that I should by all rights be bored with, but I don't know. I think that you've spread some sort of sickness to us, and I'm excited about learning about all these books and putting them together and writing bibliographies. And I don't know what the hell's the matter with me, but it's neat. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Veronica always tells me, you're so busy saving the world. I'm like, yeah, we are. And I believe everything we do is connected. ACI, everything, the press, it's all connected to saving the world. I really believe that. I think a good footnote and a correct bibliography entry is one more step in saving the world. I believe that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Pizza break. We're having our unofficial last day because tomorrow I can't do it. I can't be at the college. So we're going to eat pizza for you guys during the next class.
Oh no.
They're at home.
You can eat 5-minute pizza in 5 minutes. I could do it.
If you don't have pizza, then just eat your heart out. Okay. Thank you.
Even Word can eat
Thank you.
pizza
Thank
in 5
you.
minutes. Word could probably eat like 6 slices in 5 minutes.
What's up next, by the way?
Isn't it Stanley? Is it?
Yeah, it's Stanley.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Here we go.